Welcome to the deep dive. We're jumping straight into a challenge that so many of us face.
Work-life balance.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That elusive work-life balance. It's just a constant juggle these days, isn't it?
It really is. The lines, well, they feel paper thin sometimes. Professional, personal.
It all blurs together, and you get that feeling of always being on.
Makes it so hard to properly switch off, to recharge.
Totally. So if you're listening and maybe, heading into a busy patch or just feeling that strain,
That constant connectivity thing.
or even if you're just looking for a bit more harmony in life, then yeah, this deep dive is definitely for you.
So what's the angle today?
We're exploring a tool, something tangible actually, that seems surprisingly effective for finding that balance.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
A journal notebook.
Ah, interesting. Going analog.
Exactly. We're going to draw on insights about, journals specifically designed for work-life balance.
Right.
And we'll look closely at features from Lestallion, a brand we know focuses on notebooks for exactly this goal.
Okay, good. Because the core problem is real. Technology is great, but
But it's also fueled this always connected feeling.
absolutely, the boundaries just erode. You know that little voice saying, just check your email quickly?
After hours, yeah.
Yeah.
Or skipping breaks just to catch up.
It all adds up. And things like Google Drive, Dropbox,
Yeah.
work is always there.
Makes it incredibly hard to disconnect properly.
Right. So what happens then when those boundaries are constantly crossed?
Well, the impact is pretty significant, isn't it? We're talking stress, definitely.
Burnout is a big one.
Huge. And ironically, it can even hit your productivity. You feel overwhelmed.
And then you procrastinate or miss deadlines,
Exactly. It's a vicious cycle.
which makes this idea of a physical journal quite counterintuitive maybe, but powerful.
A low-tech answer to high-tech problems.
Sort of, yeah. In a world buzzing with notifications, putting pen to paper, it's different.
It forces a pause. Mindfulness, maybe?
That's a great way to put it. It encourages mindfulness, the physical act.
It feels more intentional than just typing, doesn't it?
It really does. Less reactive. Writing things down, it helps clear the mental clutter.
Like offloading it onto the page.
Exactly. It gives you a dedicated analog space away from the screens.
To process thoughts, set
To
priorities.
structure your day, yeah. Build routines for a more balanced life.
And Lestallion seems to have really leaned into this. They talk about their paper, for instance. 120 GSM thick paper.
Okay, so GSM, that's paperweight, essentially.
Right. Higher number, thicker paper. Why does that matter for, balance?
Well, it's about the experience of journaling. Thicker paper feels nicer to write on.
Smoother.
Smoother, exactly. And crucially, less ink bleed through.
Ah, okay. So whether you use a fancy fountain pen or just a regular ballpoint.
It works well. It's less frustrating, more satisfying, really.
And if the act itself is pleasant,
You're more likely to stick with it. And consistency is everything here.
that makes sense. Removing those tiny annoyances. What about the numbered pages in the table of contents? That feels quite structured.
It does, but think how useful that is for organization.
Right, finding things easily.
Yes. Instead of flicking through endlessly, you number your entries. You use the contents page. Maybe track tasks, maybe reflections, maybe goals.
Like a personal index.
Precisely. Structure for work stuff, structure for personal life. Reviewing progress becomes much easier.
Staying on track. Okay, I see that. And they also focus on the covers, the feel of it. Soft cover, hard cover, different colors.
The tactile aspect shouldn't be underestimated.
How so?
Well, if the journal itself feels good, looks appealing, it becomes a desirable object, part of your routine.
Something you actually want to pick up and use.
Exactly. And offering different colors, different finishes,
Yeah.
it lets you choose something that feels personal.
Makes it more your space.
More motivation to use it for that balance journey.
They say features tell, but stories sell. I actually have a quick story about a friend, Mark.
Oh, yeah.
He works remotely, graphic design. And he was really struggling, like laptop always open, felt like he had to be available 24/7.
I know that feeling.
He started using one of these Lestallion journals, the ones with numbered pages.
Yeah.
And he said, just physically writing his to-do list.
Actually writing it out.
Yeah, writing it in the morning, ticking things off.
Yeah.
It gave him this sense of completion, like the workday had an end.
A defined boundary.
Exactly. And he used the table of contents to track weekly goals, look back on things. The physical journal created a mental separation. His digital tools just couldn't.
That's a fantastic example. It really shows the power of being intentional with it.
Yeah.
It reminds me of my sister, Sarah. She's a lawyer, super busy, always felt completely swamped by her schedule.
Okay.
She started using a Lestallion journal, basically, as her main planner. She loved the paper quality, said it made even quick notes feel more substantial.
Interesting.
But the real game changer for her was using the layout to block out her week. Not just meetings and work stuff.
But personal time, too.
Exactly. Like scheduling a proper lunch break away from her desk.
No.
Or just 15 minutes to read a book.
Actually blocking it out on paper.
Yes. And she said seeing it written down, physically blocked out, made her feel way more committed to protecting that time.
Wow.
It's seriously cut down on that Sunday night anxiety about the week ahead.
Those stories really bring it home. It's not just a notebook. It's a tool for deliberate time management.
Totally. And it's different from just using a digital calendar, I think.
How so? Because digital calendars are useful, obviously.
They are, absolutely. But sometimes they add to that feeling of being constantly booked, just reacting to alerts.
No.
With a journal, writing your daily tasks, it forces you to pause and actually prioritize what's really important today.
More focus.
More focus. And planning your week on paper gives you that bigger picture. You can visually weave in the personal stuff alongside the work stuff.
Time blocking, but making it feel more concrete.
Exactly. It feels more solid somehow, harder to just delete or move around casually.
Right.
And looking back through your journal, seeing what you've done, tracking progress, that builds accountability and motivation.
And the numbered pages, the index, they just make that review process simpler.
Streamlines the whole thing.
It's not just about time, though, is it? There's the whole mental well-being side, stress reduction, clarity.
Oh, absolutely. The connection between journaling and mental well-being is really well established.
How does writing it down help with stress?
It's about externalizing, getting those swirling thoughts, those worries out of your head and onto the page.
Creates distance.
It creates space, yeah. Allows you to look at things a bit more objectively. It can instantly make you feel less overwhelmed.
Just the act of naming the feeling, maybe?
That and processing it through writing. It fosters self-awareness, can even help with problem solving. You see patterns.
And again, if the tool itself is pleasant, to use that smooth paper you mentioned.
The Lestallion wood-free ivory paper, yeah. It just makes the whole practice more appealing, more likely to happen.
Okay, so let's sort of pull this together. A journal notebook.
Especially one designed thoughtfully, like the Lestallion ones we've discussed.
It offers a really practical, tangible way to tackle this work-life balance challenge.
Fosters mindfulness, boosts organization.
Helps manage time more intentionally.
And provides that outlet for stress relief and mental clarity.
It's about taking back some control, isn't it?
Exactly. Consciously stepping away from the digital noise, engaging with something physical. It's a proactive step.
Making intentional choices about how you structure your time, your energy.
Creating space for both work and life to thrive, hopefully more harmoniously.
This has been, well, really insightful. It's easy to forget the power of simple, tangible tools in our tech-heavy lives.
It really is.
So here's something to think about, maybe mull over after this. Consider how intentionally carving out just a few moments each day.
Away from the screens?
Yes, away from screens. To reflect, to plan in a dedicated physical space. How could that actually shift your experience of work and life?
What's one small step you could take?
Yeah. What's one small, deliberate step you could take today, maybe even right now, to start creating a more balanced rhythm for yourself?